students, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to discuss about class 9's the chapter number system, and the topic is irrational numbers. Now rational numbers already you have done in class 7, 8 and 9's first session of number system. We will be doing today irrational numbers. You can see and you can look at the word irrational. It is quite obvious, and the word itself telling that it is opposite word of, not opposite, you can say it's a negative sense of rational number. Okay, it's not negative. It may be negative, may be positive, but the word is used in a negative sense of rational number. So we can say from this word itself that a number, suppose the number is A, if A can't be expressed in the form of P by Q, where P, Q are integers, Q not equals to 0, then A is called an irrational number. Then A is an irrational number. So the main point is that if a number is not a rational, then that will be irrational number. Okay, so irrational number, just for example I am telling, for example under root 2, root 3, root 5 and pi, and then the number looking like 0,011, then 0011, then 00011. Look, the number of zeros in between 1 is increasing. Okay, one by one step. So like this, and dot means this number is continuing. Okay, it's not ending here, it's continuing there. That means there will be 50, then again 11, like this. So it's dot. These type of numbers are irrational numbers. Now root 2, root 3, root 5, proof of these irrationalities, means irrationality of these numbers, proof is there in class 10 syllabus, so it's not our area now in class 9. Pi itself an irrational number which has infinite numbers after decimal point, but just for easiness of calculation we take it as 22 by 7 or 3.14. I hope you all have used this in place of pi, right? This is not the value of pi, just these are the calculative values of pi, so that we can proceed with the calculations. Okay, so this is rational numbers definitions and some examples. Now coming to a very important part that you all know, and in the first session, if you want to check my first session on this chapter, you can go to the description box and there will be every link given related to class 9. Okay, so we actually did placing the numbers, means placing the rational numbers on number line, right? We have done all these things. Suppose this 1 and 2, this side is, right hand side is positive and left hand side is negative, and the middle one is 0. This is called number line, right? You all know its name, it's number line. Now in the first session also I used a particular word, that is real number line. Now why it is called real number line? Look, You think about that there is a bag and you are putting all your rational numbers here, like half, like 3 by 10 and whatever, means all p by q rational numbers, and then you are putting more irrational numbers also. Eventually you will get the whole bag is full of all rational numbers and irrational numbers, and there will be no number left. Okay, in our real world there will be no number left. So that means real numbers categorized in two categories, that is rationals and irrationals. Okay, so real numbers can be classified into two categories, that is rationals and irrationals. Okay, so we will gradually find out that as well, means like rationals, irrational numbers also can be placed on number line, and that means rational numbers also can be found in number line. Irrational numbers are also having a particular unique spot on number line. It means the whole number line is getting all numbers, rationals and irrationals. That's why the number line is called, means its real name is real number line. Okay, understood why this number line is called real number line? Because it can have all real numbers on it. So our next topic comes here. Next topic is to represent. Already we have represented rational numbers on number line. So now our topic is representation of irrational numbers on real number line. So this is now our topic. Okay, for this it is quite obvious we have to draw the number line. We are drawing it, then we are taking the middle point as O. I'm taking 1 here, 2 here, so it's 1, it's 2, it's -1, -2, and so on this side and so on that side. I'm just placing √2 on the number line. Okay, then I will be doing √3 also, and I will show you the process. So first what we will do, we will draw 1 unit. You can see this one, 0 to 1. So you know its measure when you are drawing it. I hope you can measure it. So suppose this is 1 unit. We will take the same measurements perpendicular on 1. Okay, same measurement perpendicular on 1. That means this is 1 unit and this also 1 unit. Okay, both 1 unit. It's very small, I have written. I hope you can see it, but no, I have to write a little bit bigger so that you can see. It's 1 unit. Yes, now you can see. And this is also 1 unit. Okay, we will join the points. So you can see that as it is a perpendicular, that means this one is 90-degree angle and it forms a right triangle. Okay, so as it forms a right triangle, this is the hypotenuse of it, Now you have got already 1 and 1 here, one for the base and one for the perpendicular. So you can find out the hypotenuse by Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so by Pythagoras theorem, from this triangle, well, suppose I am giving this name as A. So OA is root over of 1 square plus 1 square. Yes, that means it is 1 plus 1, right? That means it's root 2. So OA is of root 2 unit measure. Okay, so OA's measurement is root 2. Did you get the point? It's by Pythagoras theorem. 1 unit here, 1 unit here. That means OA is the hypotenuse and its measurement is root 2 unit. Okay, we have got it. Now you have your pencil compass. So you place the pencil compass here on O. Okay, the pointed part of the pencil compass, you just place it on O. You take the measurement with pencil compass OA, same measurement OA. Now, when you are taking OA measurement, suppose O is the center and you are drawing an arc like this. You are drawing the arc up to this real number line. Then think about, suppose this is M point. That means it is quite obvious this is a part of a circle, means OA and OM are two radii of the same circle. So it means OA equals to OM. OA is root 2, so OM also will be root 2, right? That means OA and OM are two equal radii. So OM is equals to also root 2. This is 1 point, this is 2 point, and this is root 2 point. Okay, again I am writing very small. So this point is this point. This point will be root 2. Okay, look at this. Carefully you understand it. First you understand it, and it's very simple. But you need to understand, because there is no hard theory applied here. Just Pythagoras theorem first, and then you have to just draw an arc with the same radius. Then we are getting root 2 here placed on the number line, right? That means root 2 has a unique spot on the number line. So root 2 means the irrational numbers also can have a spot, unique spot on the number line. So this is gone for root 2. I am rubbing this. This is for root 2. Now for drawing, means the placing root 3, I am rubbing extra part so that it would be easy for you to understand. Okay. Look, for doing root 3, means for representing root 3, you need to draw root 2 first. Once you have completed root 2 drawing, we don't need this one. For root 3, we don't need this part. Okay. We need only this much up to Pythagoras law. Up to Pythagoras law. Okay. Then we will be drawing a perpendicular, unit size perpendicular on OA. Means this one will be 90 degree. So you just flip, little bit turn your copy and then place a protector over there, or you can draw 90 degree by compass also, no problem, no issue with that. So this must be 1 unit again. This must be 1 unit. Okay, measurement must be 1 unit. 1 unit means the same measurement like this. And this will be perpendicular to OA. And then we will join again this line. I am giving this name as B. So we are joining OB. Okay. Now this OB is actually the hypotenuse of the right triangle OAB. Triangle is, here I am writing OAB, which is a right triangle. Okay, why right triangle? Because its angle, this angle is with angle A 90 degree, right? Angle A 90 degree. So OAB right triangle with angle A 90 degree. That means OB is the hypotenuse. OB is equals to H, hypotenuse. Base is OA equals to base. Base means root 2. Already we have got from root 2's calculation. Then AB. AB equals to perpendicular P, that is 1. So these three we will use in the Pythagoras theorem I am doing over here. So it's H is equals to root over of root 2's whole square plus 1's whole square. Okay, that means root over of root 2's whole square means 2, 1's whole square means 1, that means ultimately root 3. Okay, so we have got root 3 and it means OB is equals to root 3. H equals to root 3 means OB equals to root 3. Okay, so now the same process. Once we have got the hypotenuse, we will again place the compass over here. We will take the measurement with the compass same as OB and we will draw the arc here. Taking O as the center, we will draw the arc like this. Okay, so I am just rubbing this portion. I need to rub, otherwise you will not get the right idea of it. I hope you all have written it. H equals to this. Okay, so when we are taking it, its radius, that means it will be placed here like this. If you are drawing its arc, okay, it will be like this. So I'm giving its name as N, and this N point, in the same way like previous one, we will write it down that as OB and ON are same radii of same circle, that means OB equals to ON equals to root 3. Okay, therefore ON equals to root 3 and N is the representation of root 3. Previously M is the representation of root 2. It was like this, M. So M is the representation of root 2 and N is the representation of root, sorry, what I told, M is the representation of root 2, N is the representation of root 3. Okay, in the same way you can proceed to root 5 also. Okay, how? If we add another perpendicular one, same perpendicular on OB, this is 1 unit again, and you draw it, then you will get this one as 2. 2 means root 4. It will be root 4. Now root 4 is not an irrational number, so this will be eventually come as 2. This will be 2, same as 2. We will draw another right angle here with 1 unit, and then if we are adding it, this will be root 5. Then again we will be drawing the arc and it will be gone after 2. Okay, it will be gone after 2. Now everybody knows, at least in class 8 you all have done one thing. Okay, you all have done finding square root by long division process. Okay, and I'm just giving you the rough idea. Root 2 is equals to 1.414, which I know. If you don't know, you can find it out by long division method of finding square root. root 3 equals to 1.732. Then root 4 to 2, root 5 is equals to something after 2. Okay, because it's root 4 2, that means root 5 will be something after 2. Look, root 2 and root 3, you can see it will be before 2, placed before 2 because it is less than 2. And root 5 is placed after 2 because it's more than 2. And you can see this same thing from the figure also. Though I have drawn a rough figure, but still you can see that m and n, that means this is root 2, n is root 3, and suppose root 5 will be here, so it will be root 5, and this is root 4. Okay, so m and n, root 2 and root 3 before 2, root 4 is 2 itself, root 5 is after 2. Okay, so in this way I hope you can do root 5 also, and you please complete root 2, root 3, root 5 together in one figure. And now you can go to exercise 1.2. Oh, exercise 1.2, there is a question number 3 that show that root 5 can be represented on the number line, and the same way you can do. Okay, so this is all about today's session, students, because this is the representation of irrational number on number line, and it's a very important topic. I hope you all have understood and enjoyed it too, and you can now draw by your own. So with that hope, we will meet in the next video with any other new topic. Till then, have a good day.